time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake! Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 30. This is round 6 of PSF2, and the heroes are live tonight as we head to Spielberg at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. So far, we've had 5 different winners out of 5 races this season, and will tonight see a 6th different winner? Well, in an hour or so's time, we will find out the answer to that question. My name is Jess, and I'm on my own in the commentary box tonight, as unfortunately Owen is unable to make it, but I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic action nonetheless, like we usually do in Austria. Last week, if you missed it, we were racing at Hungary, and it was really about the strategies last time which decided things. We saw Legend getting his first win of the season, and it's definitely given him some confidence going into this week. Baraka was so close to be getting another win, but at least he managed to get another podium under his belt. And with Valentin unable to race last week, he needs to capitalise as much as he can, and he did. A few things to point out this evening, though, because we've got quite a few changes to the F2 roster for the rest of the season. The first change this week is Bolin. He's replacing Blaze in the Mercedes for the rest of the season, and tonight should be his first race as a full-time driver. He's got a point to prove after scoring 6 points this season only, but there's been some races where he's been up there, but he has had some unfortunate incidents. Second change is quite a substantial one. Santry has been promoted from F2 to the F1 tier, so you'll see him racing later on tonight, hopefully. And he's replacing him in the Alfa Romeo is Shazoo Jax. Jax has been pretty much technically a full-time driver for the whole season. Every race he's reserved for, and he has attended every single race. And he scored points in most of the races as well, including a win in Monaco. And his main focus now is got to be about the championship, isn't it? He's got the likes of Valentin and Devin as his main rivals, but he can also close in on third place driver Tom and our championship leader Baraka. So, speaking of the championship, let's have a look at it right now. So, we have got Baraka leading by 19 points to Santry, but obviously Santry is not racing in F2 anymore. We've got Shazoo Tom in third place on 31 points. Valentin is fourth with 30. Then we got Devin on 26 in fifth place, joint with Jax and Legend. Then we got CC Brain in 8th place on, I think it's 23 points, if I can read that properly. Yes, it is. Andrea is 9th on 19, and we got Dino in 10th. One of our reserves, Nicolo Soro, is in 11th. Then we got Louis in 12th. Kazizzle in 13th position. Kryptonite is in 14th with 8 points. And we got Bolin, obviously our newest full-time driver, in 15th position. Pat Schneider in 16th in the AlphaTauri on 4. Then we got Ricky in 17th with 4 points. And we got Cohen, Elting, Alexis, Azzy, and Yannick yet to score. So what does that do with the Constructors' Championship, may I ask? Well, we've got Baraka and Bolin in the Mercedes leading the way on 54 points. Second place is Alfa Romeo on 42 points. Third place is Aston Martin with 39 points. And we got fourth place Red Bull on 31. Fifth place is Ferrari on 30, joint with AlphaTauri in 6th as well. 7th is Williams with 26 points, and we got 8th place of Alpine on 20 points. 9th place, is the Haas team of Andrea and Azzy, and then yet to score is McLaren. There seems to be a thing in PSGL PSF2 where there's always one team that fails to get off the mark. Last season we of course had the Haas team which failed to get beyond the mark. But this season it's McLaren, which I'm absolutely good, because obviously McLaren is a team that I tend to, obviously, I loved growing up and is absolutely brilliant, but obviously they need to get a move on, basically, if they want to have a good one. So, we have got a race on our hands tonight. We have got Austria. Now, for those of you that don't know, Austria used to be the Austride Ring, measuring just under 6 kilometres. It had a few elevation changes as well along the way, but there was a few incidents which caused a few safety changes to be made. It was a long break after, I think it was about 1975 or 1980s or whatever. In 1997, it had a new layout and a new name, which was called the A1 Ring. And that was how I knew the Austrian Grand Prix. And we saw Mika Häkkinen take a few wins there, Michael Schumacher as well. And it hosted 7 Austrian Grand Prix between 1997 and 2003. It took a long break and it returned to the Formula 1 calendar in 2014 after 11-year hiatus. And for the last 2 seasons in real life, it used to pretty much, well, it hosted 2 Austrian Grand Prix, where one of them was the Styrian Grand Prix. That's out of the way. Without further ado, we've got the lobby set up, which is great news. So let's get underway if I can find my scene. There we go, that's better. So 17 drivers have our present here tonight, and it's quite overcast at the moment, so a few drivers will need to be on their A game. Now, a couple of points to watch out for the drivers tonight. Cohen has received a 5-second time penalty, which will be added to tonight's race. That was due to an incident that he was involved with last week with Kryptonite, and he also got 2 license points as well. And he caused a collision, yeah, that's basically what happened. So, we're going to ride on board with our first hot lap of the evening, and then I will talk to you about the challenging points around this circuit. So let's go on board with our newest full-time driver this evening with Jack. So here we go. In the Alfa Romeo, filling in Santry's shoes, as he's already invalidated in turn 1, so that is not good. So who can we go on board next? The Pole King! Let's see if he could do any better and not invalidate in turn 1. So here we go. It's called the Lauda Curve, which is obviously famously known from Niki Lauda. You pass turn 2, which is a little kink, and then you head towards turn 3, one of the braking zones, Schwarzgold. I think that's how you say it, as he's got a little bit wide. I'm not doing very well with picking someone to find hot laps with. Let's see if Kazizel could do any better. He's on the medium tyres at the moment, but he's getting a little bit of a feel at the moment as we head towards turn 4. Roche Curve. Now this is where we saw Lewis Hamilton and Alex Albon famously come together back then and cause an incident, and Lewis Hamilton got a penalty for it. Past turn 6, we saw Valtteri Bottas kind of mowed along there quite a few times last season. Past turn 7, heading towards the downhill section of turn 8. A few of the drivers have been told to keep an eye, well, pretty much all the drivers have been told to keep an eye out for turns 9 and 10, because that is where people can get a lot of track limits. So Kazizel up to the line, and it's P2. Now Kazizel is kind of interesting actually, because he was out of position last week. He was one of the unfortunate people to DNF. He was very, very disappointed about that, and to be honest, he should have got more points this season so far. He's had a good start to the season, but he's been a bit shaky and inconsistent in some races. So maybe tonight could be the chance to shine. Andrea is currently sitting in pole position. A few more people coming across the line. We got Cohen in the McLaren up to the line. He has unfortunately invalidated, so he will have to go again. And I believe we have Dino crossing the line. Now it's his teammate Ricky, who is about to come across the line for his first flying lap. And then we have got, I think, Jack's teammate Louis, who's going towards turn 4. We'll see what the Sector 1 times is actually compared to everybody else. Expect the lap times to be very, very close compared to most races this season. Mainly because of the short lap. It is one of the shortest laps on the F1 calendar. Valentin setting an unrepresentative lap time at the moment, but I'm almost certain that he will go quicker as he goes across the line in 3rd position. We've got Devon in 4th position. We've got the Mercedes of Baraka. He's changed his name on PSN, which can get quite confusing. I am going to still call him Baraka. That's how I know him. So if you get confused and wondering who is this person, that is Baraka, who is leading the championship right now. Looking quite promising right now, and he's got his main rival Santry out of the picture because obviously he's moved to F1. So he's got more of a point to prove now. He has got really the most to lose out of anyone tonight. As he's got a few more cars on their laps as well, so Baraka will be going into the pits. I think quite a few more people going to the pits. We've got third place man Tom heading towards the final corner of turn 9 and 10. What can he do? Up to the line he goes, and it is a P1 for him. A 103.498. Now, those are representative lap times. We could see people go into the 1 minute 2s. So watch out for that. We're not quite there yet. As we got Pat Schneider, who's backing off a little bit, but he's on his outlap and he moves out of the way, luckily. So, a few track limit warnings that the stewards have been asking the drivers to point out for. So, extending track limits at the following corners is prohibited to turn 9 and 10. We talked about that already. And if they go off the track in turns 9 and 10, they're expected to back off. If they don't, they will get a penalty. And drivers are reminded that abusing track limits at any corner in any session may be penalised in accordance with Rule 24.2. So, those are the rules that the drivers especially to keep an eye on. I would say turn 1 as well. Drivers can extend quite a bit. So we will be keeping an eye on that as well, because they could gain a lot there. But obviously if they gain in turn 1 there as well, they could also get a penalty. So Pat Schneider past turn 4, heading towards turn 5. This is going to be looking a lot better. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate this tire. It's quite a short lap actually, so you can get quite a few laps in. He's going into 6th gear into this corner, turn 7, heading towards turn 8. You're going to be going almost to 200 miles per hour. You only need to brake just a little bit, heading towards turn 9, heading towards turn 10. So there's only a few braking zones, like I said. Up to the line goes Pat Schneider. 15th at the moment, and it's a P1 for the AlphaTauri. 103.446. Let's see if any more drivers will come across the line. I think... No, it's not Kryptonite. I think it's someone else. It might be Kazizzle, actually, who's furthest on a lap. Who's on a quick one as well. So we'll see what he can do. I did briefly talk about this earlier, but the drivers, due to the fact that it is a short lap, they will be pushing it a lot. They'll be taking a few more risks, and they will be subject to being in a lot of DRS trains, and that might be prone to less overtaking for some drivers, but might be more ambitious overtakes for others. Hopefully more ambitious overtakes, because that's what we like to see in F2, because Zizzle is setting the benchmark right now with a 103.171 in the Aston Martin. So there he goes at the top of the timing sheets. Kryptonite, our head steward at PSGL, he's coming across the line now. Let's see if he lives up to expectations. Doing quite well this season, getting a few points in most of the races this season. In P14 at the moment in qualifying. We've got Cohen up to the line, but unfortunately he's one of the next people to invalidate. So he will have to go again, unfortunately. Jax is unfortunately going into the pits. Dino's about to start his lap. There's quite a few people on laps at the moment. Bolan, our newest full-time driver, as well as Jax. He wasn't here last week. He was meant to be making his first debut as a full-time driver. He was reserving for quite a few races this season, but he is replacing a Blade. He's purple in the middle sector, though, which I do not believe, because sometimes the game likes to lie like that, but we will see. Maybe Bolan is just finding some time right now in this middle sector. The final sector is where people tend to gain the most time. So what can he do? Up to the line goes Bolan. 3/10 quicker, P2. Pretty decent. About 1/10, well, almost 1/10 quicker than Pat Schneider. Now, we saw in PCF2, where I commentated on Thursday, the gaps between the top 5 were separated by less than a tenth. We may not get that today, but if we do, that will be absolutely insane. But between 2nd and 5th is quite close, so we'll watch out for those guys. Dino improves on his time by almost 0.3 of a second to P10 in the Alpine car. And I'm trying to actually see where Dino is in the championship. He is actually in P10 at the moment on 16 points. He got a podium in France, hoping to get another one tonight, but with how close his field is already, anything can happen. Jax and Cohen, the only two drivers yet to set a lap time. But we've got a few more people on laps. Baraka, he's about to start his next lap. 104.848 for him. A little bit squirmy coming out of turn 1. So, and he has invalidated as well. So, if he wants to get pole position, he needs a miracle of the last couple of laps to do so. And even though he's got a comfortable gap between himself and Tom, you never know, after a few races, this could all change, because we've got some interesting races coming up in the next couple of weeks, including a certain new track as well, but more information about that next week. Jax up to the line. Can he set a lap time on the board? Yes, he does. 103.6 exactly. We've got Ricky on a lap as well. He is taking it very, very fast at the moment. Very committed. Goes the Alpine driver up to the line. 103.369, almost 4 times quicker than his previous best. Puts him into P4. Now, a few people that I would expect to do a lot better in this qualifying session. Legend. Don't forget Legend won last week. And he is nowhere near the top guys at the moment. He's currently sitting in P14. But Austria is known for crazy weather, changeable conditions, and most importantly, it is also known for safety cars. So maybe people outside the top 10 are hoping for that, but there will be quite a few people trying to go for the alternate strategy. So we will probably see maybe the likes of obviously CC Bray, maybe the 2 Red Bulls, try that. Maybe Baraka could try that, but I don't think he will, because he's not known for going for the alternate strategy. So, a few more people setting lap times. Pat Schneider, he doesn't improve on this time, so he'll probably go again. Dino is going into the pit lane, so does his teammate as well, and Tom goes into the pits as well. So it will be a quiet moment, but there's still quite a few people on track. They'll have to set a lap pretty quickly and do their in-lap pretty quickly as well, because they don't have long to go. But since it is a short track, that shouldn't matter as much. So, let us know in the chat who you guys think is going to get pole position and who's going to be winning the race. We've had 5 different winners so far this season. And will we have a 6th different winner tonight? I think the last time it happened was in season 27 or season 28. I can't remember, where we've had different winners. But then, as soon as we got a repeat winner, that repeat winner started to absolutely dominate. I think it must have been season 27, but I might be wrong. Andrea has unfortunately invalidated. We've got Joel, who's predicting Valentin, Tom and Bolin for the podium. Not a bad prediction if you ask me. Bolin, like I said, he should have been higher with his points tally as a reserve driver. Could have got more points, but he was unlucky with incidents. So I agree, he's kind of sitting in 4th at the moment. Oh, he's invalidated turn 9. Turn 9 invalidation. That is not good. Not good at all for the Mercedes driver. So he will be going again. Anyone else potentially going to be going on a lap? I don't think so. So that will be it for the time being, as a few people will be setting their tyres for one final time, one final push lap. Now, some of you may or may not know this, it also hosts the MotoGP around here, hence why turn 2 is just a little kink, because MotoGP likes to call it corners, which I don't know why. I do not know why. But there you go, that's MotoGP for you. So there could be a few traffic going towards turn 2 and 3 now, as a few people are trying to warm their tyres for one final time. A few people going out early actually for their outlaps, one of which is being Pat Schneider, one of which is Shazoo Tom, and then another one, Shazoo Jat, and we got Dino as well. But I'm sure people will be getting 2 laps in. Bolan, there we go, setting pole position at the moment, 103.040. that does mean now we could see someone be going into the 102s anytime soon. Roman's predicting Louis for the pole. For pole position. So different predictions for pretty much everybody so far in the chat as well. Don't forget you can follow us on social media by subscribing to our YouTube channel and liking this video, and also hitting that notification bell, because we stream almost every day. We don't stream on Tuesday though, and we don't stream on Saturday, but we stream on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays and Mondays. So check all our tiers out. Of course, we've got our top tier on PC on Wednesday night, commentated by Ginger Andy and Dan Field. And then, of course, we've got the top tier on the PlayStation happening in just under an hour. Actually less than an hour, actually. About 40 minutes time. As they will be taking to Austria as well. So you'll see how well they do in just under 40 minutes time. But we've still got this action to watch first, so make sure you stay tuned into that. Valentin is the closest to Berlin at the moment, because it's all not that far behind. Valentin has had the most poles this season. He missed last week's race. He's finally got his connection sorted, which is great news. So that means he's been able to get some racing in. He's done a lot better this season. Last season, I remember, he was struggling to get points. But this season, he's been a lot more consistent. He must have learned a little bit more of a lesson to himself, that he scored more points. He's even exceeded his own expectations as well. But he even said to me a couple of weeks ago that his main goal is the championship. That is his main goal. He can still do it, but the gap is quite big, obviously, due to him missing last week and Baraka getting a podium. So Valentin up towards turn 6 and 7. I do believe he's backing off on this lap. He is. So I think he's doing a George Russell technique, what we saw in Spa in real life, but it was in the wet, where he's doing a bit of a, say, battery lap. Or maybe he wasn't confident going through turn 1. That is probably quite common. And now he's going to go on a push lap now. And he's on low fuel as well. That is quite common in the higher tiers, for people just to burn fuel for one of their laps. And then for their final lap, they'll be on the lowest fuel possible. So probably a few people will be on laps like that. Not Kazizzle though, he's invalidated. So tut for Kazizzle. So let me actually get the gap to leader actually. The top two separated by 7/100ths of a second. Few people coming across the line, so we'll see actually. Cohen's about to start his lap. We have got the Aston Martin of Kazizzle. He's coming towards turn 9. He's invalidated again. Same place. Same place he invalidated. He doesn't have that long to improve. Otherwise, he'll miss out on pole position. Baraka, P5 for him. Tom, P4. We've got Baraka's teammate, Bolin, who's about to start his out lap. I'm not used to doing the end of the qualifying session. It's usually Owen that gets to do it. So I get the luxury of doing it this week. Kryptonite can only manage 17th at the moment. He is in dead last. But Valentin at 103.011. So close. So close to the 102s. Pat Schneider having a little bit of an issue. Andre has retired on track. Had his front wing as well, and the game has reset him as well. No, actually, no, that's Dino who had a bit of an off, so he's got a front wing damage. So let's follow everybody as qualifying has come to an end. So, first across the line will be Ricky, only managed 7th position. Azzy up to the line at P10, the Alfa Romeo driver of Louis can only manage 9th. We have got an Aston Martin coming up to the line. I think that will be... I wasn't sure which Aston Martin it was, but Baraka will be going out again. So he's just crossed the line in time. Next across the line will be... Quite a few people actually going into the pits, actually. We've got Legend can only manage 8th position. What about the AlphaTauris? Both the AlphaTauris are going into the pits. We've got CC Brain. He's also in the pits. So everybody's final laps seem to have not been good enough. We've seen that a few races last season, actually, where their second laps usually were the best ones. So if you don't get your laps in early on, you could cost pole position. So maybe Valentin going in slightly earlier has definitely helped him a little bit. Valentin, he's going to go into the pits. I think that is it. So that was kind of an anticlimactic end to the session. But hey-ho, we've got Valentin, who is on pole position for... To be honest, I don't know how many times he's got pole position. Let me have a look. So, he's got one. It will be his third pole position. But he has never converted his pole position to a win. The only time he's got a win this season was he didn't get a pole. I think he got second place, I believe. But he did get the fastest lap in Silverstone. So, we will wait for Valentin to go into the pit and retire. And then we could get this session underway. So, we'll go for your qualifying result. Don't forget, CC Brain has a 5-place grid penalty to worry about, which unfortunately is a bit of a shame. But there you go. That's what you get, unfortunately. So, Valentin on pole. 103.011, not quite in the 102s. I was kind of hoping it will be in the 102s, but unfortunately it's not. Bolan in second. Then we got Kazizel, Tom, Baraka, Cohen, Ricky, Legend, Jax, and then Louis round up your top 10. And if it is a dry session, they will have to start on the tyres that they qualified on. Jax, interesting enough, has gone for the mediums compound tyres, so that could be an interesting strat. I will talk about the strat in a minute, but Jack's the only driver inside the top 10 to qualify on the mediums. That could be a winning strategy. We'll have to wait and see. He has won already this season. Can he make the first person to have a second win this season? People outside the top 10 will get free tyre choice. We have got Addy, Devon, Pat Schneider, CC Brain, Andrea, Dino, and then Kryptonite. So those are your standings for qualifying, and we are about to get to the race. And I wonder what the weather is going to have in store for us. Now, with Jax qualifying on the mediums, it means that we're definitely going to have a dry start. Will we have a wet end to the race? We'll have to wait and see. Now, I do not have the timer on my screen, so I wonder if it's the same for any of the other drivers as well. But I'm just not having a timer show up. So probably, oh, there we go. Timer has finally appeared on my screen. But I think probably someone joined late into the session. So don't be surprised if we get a lobby restart. But hopefully we do not get a lobby restart. So we'll scroll through your order again just in case. We'll look at it quite quickly actually. The top 4 separated by just under 2 tenths. And then we got 5th, 6th, 7th quite close together. Same with Legend as well. And that could be very, very interesting. So, strategy here today is either going to be soft to mediums or medium to softs. But we have seen, obviously, in the PC tiers, a few people pitting quite early for the medium tyres. And they were struggling towards the end there to find a little bit of grip. So maybe people wanting to do mediums or softs, but again, they need to stretch their mediums for quite a bit longer. Maybe praying for a late safety car, you never know. But in my opinion, you do not want to use the hard tyres at all around Austria. I have driven around Austria with the hard tyres. I think it was on the last game. I think it was F1 2019. Actually, no, it wasn't F1 2019. It was F1 2020 when I did that. And it was an absolute nightmare. I kept spinning like no tomorrow, and I crashed, and I had to end up getting on the mediums again. So, which I ended up being on a 2-stop strategy, and I was near the back of the grid, and ended up being one of my first Austria races ever where it went horribly wrong. And to be honest, most of my Austria races went horrible ever since. Apart from I got my first ever league race and podium around Austria, but it was in the wet. I don't tend to do very well in the dry. So we should be getting underway shortly if the lobby decides to behave itself. The drivers are waiting. Let's hope it doesn't get crashed. So you can't see it at the moment, but it is going to be a dry race at the moment. It is nice clear skies in the Spielberg Mountains. Now, coming up towards turn 1, I think it's going to be an interesting predicament as well, because you can barely see But most of these drivers, well, pretty much all these drivers, this is a no assist tier. So they got to be on their A game for that and pick out their braking references nice and clearly. The bunch is still close together around lap 1, and the exit is quite narrow as well. So if you don't get it right, it can be very tricky when you approach that corner wrong. And there are some drivers as well that take too much speed going into that corner. So, and the curb on the outside especially, that's what's ended a few of my races in the past as well. I do not really want to talk about that, but there we go. We ended up talking about it. So, turn 1 to watch out for. Obviously, turn 3 and 4. Obviously, we got the DRS straights which share detection zone. They follow directly after each other as well. Turn 3 and turn 4 are gonna be the main overtaking spots around this circuit. So, could be interesting. So, without further ado, we are here for the race, and we will look at the tyre choices for the drivers. So, let's see if Baraka's actually moved. Yes, he has. That's good. Brilliant. So, we have got, obviously, Jax. He opted to qualify on the mediums, so he's on the mediums. But people outside the top 10 are as follows. We've got Azzy on the mediums. Pretty much everyone outside the top 10 has gone for the mediums, which makes it easier for me. Not really that surprising. Azzy's in a better position more than anyone outside the top 10 because it's the ultimate strategy pole position. But with Jax on the mediums, technically Azzy has a little bit of a disadvantage. But Azzy has the fresher tyres compared to Jax, so surely he's going to be able to try and get past both of the Alfa Romeo drivers, which are sharing the same row on the grid. If he doesn't get past any of them, well, if he doesn't get past Jax, who's directly behind him, that could prove to be a little bit of an issue. So, 36 laps await our drivers then for the Austrian Grand Prix, round 6 of the championship. Don't forget, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter as well, at PremierSimGL. You can also find me on Twitter at JessGames95. We're just waiting for the last few cars to make their way onto the starting grid. And for the first time this season, I get to do the start for PSGL. So, here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on. Valentin on the right, Bolin on the left. And we are underway. Decent start for Valentin as they make their way towards turn 1. A few people didn't get the best getaways at the moment, including one of the Aston Martin drivers. I believe it was Tom who had a bad start, because Idle had a very good start actually. One person has already made a wrong turn into turn 1. I think that was one of the Hasses of Azzy. He's dropped from 11th to 14th, so not what he wanted at this moment in time. We got the McLaren of Cohen trying to make his way all around the outside, maybe into turn 3, couldn't quite do it though. He's going side by side with the Mercedes of Baraka. Can he hold his line on Baraka, because Baraka is the faster driver. Heading towards turn 4 then, keeping it very, very tight on the outside. Oh my goodness, this is very, very close. Unfortunately, Baraka didn't get the move that he wanted to. Stays in P5. Pat Schneider makes his way past Dino, but they're still going side by side into turn 7. They push off each other the track a little bit, and they have a little bit of a spin as well. Goes Dino, so he's down into 17th position. Baraka has been caught in that as well. Same with Louis. So, not the start that our championship leader would have wanted. So he's down in 15th position, but Valentin is the start that he definitely wants at the moment. I'm sure that one incident will be investigated by the stewards, so we'll keep an eye on that. But already, pretty much the top 4 have remained unchanged right now, as retired in the pit lane. So that is a race done and dusted. No safety car though, because there was a retirement in the pit lane. We got some more yellow flags. That was probably his AI car. It might be actually something near the front as well. No, it isn't somewhere near the front. It's just probably the game warning the drivers that someone has retired in the pits, which can be done sometimes. So we are heading towards the DRS detection point. The drivers have been told to keep an eye on the pit lane as well. But we'll keep an eye on the turn 3 complex, because Izzle, I think, is going to be the closest out of anybody to make a move. So watch out for the 2 Aston Martin drivers. Watch them work together as a team, because Izzle, though, is using a lot of his energy storage right now. So he's got to be saving ERS. Now, I was talking to Chris about this on Thursday when I was commentating on PSF2, PCF2, as we still got yellow flag in sector 3. That's gone away now. But because there's less braking zones, there is less opportunities to save your ERS. So you've got to really use it to the full potential. Don't use it unnecessarily in the corners around Austria. I made that exact same mistake once in a league race, and it's just not cool. It's definitely not cool. So we are about to see some possible position changes come up on your screen. So Cohen has gained 1 position, Legend has gained 2, Jats has gained 2, Devon has gained 3, CC Brain's gained 7, Patch 9 has gained 2, Kryptonite's gained 3, but our biggest loser is Baraka, who's dropped down 10 positions. Not people are very keen to make some moves, unfortunately, which they are getting a little bit patient, which is very, very good to see, but I think people will be more ambitious once we get to the pit stop phase. Because it's all pretty much late on the brakes there as we head towards turn 3. Bit skirmish there, but he's going to use his DRS. Here he comes then, heading towards turn 4. Down the hill they go. Can he do a Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb? Nope, he does not. He doesn't do a Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb. He stays in P3. What about the guys behind them? Devon doing a pretty decent job in 9th place on the mediums, but Jats, he's gained 2 positions. I believe he started in 9th place on those medium tyres. So he's gained 2 places. So he's looking to try and close in on Legend. Watch out for the Delta in about 5 or 6 laps time, and we'll see the mediums really start to come into life. I really don't know why there's yellow flags that keep popping up every time people reach sector 3. It's so annoying, and I know you guys in the chat are going to find it pretty annoying as well. But I am going to keep an eye on that. Maybe if someone goes off, potentially it'll kind of reset itself. I don't know, or it might just be a lobby issue. But meanwhile, Bolin was the closest he has been all race so far to Valentin. We can't get the move done. He's got the most DRS to use though, so this could be his opportunity. Heading towards turn 4. Right hand side he goes, off of Valentin. Can he hold his line heading towards the exit of turn 4? He does. Bolin, our newest full-time driver, is your race leader at this moment in time. That is not what Valentin wanted, but it's definitely what Bolin wanted. He needed some redemption here today. Devon is looking like he's going to try and do the same thing, maybe in the Apples 2 time. If he saw Bolin do it, he's probably thinking, you know what, I could do the same too. He knows he's probably quicker than Ricky. Maybe the softs are going off a little bit quicker than intended. But that's probably because the drivers are all in just one huge train, which is quite insane. I think it's Baraka that's desynced. I think that is why we keep getting yellow flags in sector 3. So, yeah, I think Baraka's desynced for some reason. But here we go, Valentin is going to go for a late lunge, heading towards turn 3. And I think he's going to take it this one, or could Bolin defend? Bolin's defending quite nicely. He's used to battling with Baraka, but he's now battling with another Mercedes teammate, which could be for the battle for the Constructors' Championship. Valentin retakes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. I think I said Australian Grand Prix quite a few times this race so far. So I do apologise about that, because this all stays in P3. If he keeps this up, he'll be on for his best result. He needs a bit of luck this season, the Aston Martin driver, and this could be the race where he holds his own. Managing his ERS quite nicely as well, so it's working out very, very decently for him. Tom as well, doing quite well with his ERS, but I'm sure there's a way where he can potentially start to push just a little bit more. We're starting to get time penalties go in the way of some drivers. Pat Schneider getting a time penalty. So does Cohen as well. So the time penalty is going to be quite common. Here comes Devon then. He's going to make a move in towards turn 3. Ricky is not making Devon's time look easy. I can tell you that. Devon is up in and 2. P8 he runs a little bit wide though. He tries to cover off Ricky behind him, which is quite a decent tactic as well. So the medium runners are starting to overtake the soft runners and starting to close in. So this could be interesting on when the crossover point will be, like I was saying. The top 4 still remained unchanged, even though Valentine and Bolan have swapped position, but the top 4 remain the same drivers at least. But I wonder if the two Aston Martins will swap places, or will they be allowed to race? I think they will be allowed to race at the moment, but nobody is close enough to go for a move. You've got to be within 2 tenths in Austria to really start to go for a move towards there. There is now yellow flags in sector 2 as well as Pat's out of the race. Pat is out of the race. Was that turn 1? I think it must have been. Or was it? I don't know. I'm just trying to see where he's binned it. It was turn 1. It was turn 1. We haven't seen any safety cars though, so he must have been off the track. So we're down to 2 drivers. CC Brain makes his way past Ricky, and he is up into 9th position. So he's making some headway at the moment in the Red Bull. He is another consistent point scorer in this league, and is looking to continue that form. I think at the moment we are mainly seeing moves in the midfield as we head towards lap 9 out of 36. Bolan overtaken Valentine a moment ago, and Bolan is now your race leader. Pat is not very happy whatsoever because he's got scored some good points this season so far, but unfortunately his lack of consistency has unfortunately shown, as Valentine overtakes Bolan again. But this could be an interesting tactic. Bolan does not have the DRS, Valentine does, so Valentine timed that overtake perfectly well. He waited until the detection point to get the move done on his rival Bolan, so he made sure Bolan did not have the DRS, and Bolan is now under huge threat from Kazizel. So, nicely timed, perfectly executed, brilliant stuff. To be honest, that's what I would have done. Maybe other drivers behind him would potentially be doing the same thing as well. So we will find out just a little bit later on. So we are going to be approaching the time in about 3 or 4 laps time where we will see people pit for the mediums. Devon gets past Legend, so Devon is up into 6th place. Devon, the highest of our medium runners. Well, he could have been the second highest if he didn't have a squirm into turn 1. It's allowing Legend to fight back at him, but Devon could be a shout to be winning this race. Don't forget, Devon won the F3 Championship last season in season 29. And Devon has done quite well this season, actually. He is... Usually you would expect people in F3 to be lower down in the championship, but Devon has had some good form. He's been consistently in the top 10 in most races. As we do have a yellow flag, that is Louis who's gone into the pit. So he has gone and pitted for some medium tyres. Now, I wonder if it was damage or if it was a strategic call. We'll find out very, very soon. Now, if I think I would say Kazizel or Tom, one of you will have to pit soon, because you wouldn't want to be stuck in a sandwich. But if one driver pits before everyone else, then the other driver won't lose out as much. So the Aston Martins are in a tricky situation in that regard in terms of pit stops, because there's a lot of double stacking. Here comes Bolan then, once again challenging for the move or the lead. This is like a ding-dong battle. Valentine has one wide into turn 3, and that's given Kazizel a thank you note. And Kazizel is like, thank you very much, I'm up into P2. So it's not Valentine in P2 anymore, or Valentine in P1. Valentine has lost 2 positions in the process. Cohen has gone for a spin now. Turn 4. He's got to be careful that he doesn't hit Kryptonite. He does not. So, Cohen is down into P13, because Valentine's down into 3rd. Ricky has had a bit of an off as well. Quite a few people are struggling for grip and traction at the moment in turn 7. That's why we're seeing a lot of people lose it. Louis is going into the pits for another front wing change. So, is it second stop this race? We got Ricky, who's also in. So not ideal for them. It's going to help Baraka because Baraka won't be last of the finishers. Kazizl, he's now got the DRS over Bolan. But he's not quite close enough, unfortunately. There are some times where he can short shift into turn 4 to gain the most speed. He goes into third gear here. Not quite ready just yet. Tom is in a bit more of a dangerous situation because he's got more cars to try and defend with. Devon being one of them. Devon, I think, looking the fastest out of the lot. As Jax has been passed by Legend. Legend is up into 6th place. Legend did a great move into turn 7 there. As Louis, unfortunately, is lapped. So, a bit of a shame there. So, he will be trying to obviously move out of the way, but it is ghosted, luckily, this lobby. Tom is in the pits now. A driver that I was predicting would go into the pits, and he does. So, he would be trying to go for the undercut. But here comes Jax and Legend once again, going for another move towards turn 3. This time it is Jax that comes out on top due to the benefit of DRS. He still has DRS though, doing exactly the same tactic to what we saw Valentin earlier on. We're seeing Legend and CC Brain having a bit of a battle as well. So CC Brain also in this midfield battle. Andrea too, as he is back in this race. Even though he's had a bit of a spin, he has had more luck compared to his rivals behind him. Cohen has got past Ricky and he's up into 12th position. We'll keep an eye on the lead in battle. CC Brain is looking to try and make a move past turn 8 in towards turn 9. It's very, very wise and brave if he could do so. CC Brain does, which is brilliant stuff for him, up to 6th place, but there's still quite a few rivals in the pits. All of the soft runners are coming in now. Valentin, Kazizl, Bolan. So we'll see who comes out first. So with everyone pitting roughly at the same time, we'll see where Tom comes out because he was one of the first drivers to pit. He was fast in that final sector. It's going to be tight. He's probably going to be in the same position as he is before. He's fighting with Bolan actually, heading towards turn 2. He's warmed his tyres more compared to everybody else because he has been on the track for one lap more than his rivals on those tyres. Could be 3 abreast actually heading towards turn 3 and 4. Oh my god, this could go horribly wrong. This could be a repeat for what we saw in Monaco, but luckily it's not. Tom decided to back out. He's fighting with his teammate heading towards turn 4. He stays behind, but most importantly, Tom has undercut Valentin. So Valentin has been the driver who has lost massively there. So Valentin now down into 10th place. Jax getting a 3-second time penalty. So it's definitely on track, but it is Bolan. That is your net race leader with Kazizl in P2. Valentin trying to make a move past Tom into turn 9. Oh, they're really starting to get very, very ambitious with the moves. I did say that I want to have some ambitious moves done in Austria, but these drivers are proving me wrong that they are doing some moves. So this is great to see that they're actually going for it, because don't forget, this is a 15-round championship and they want to gain as many points as they can because we are going to Jeddah next week, one of the nearest tracks on the calendar, and if they don't get as many points here, then they're going to have it all to do in Jeddah, and they do not want to have a bad race in Jeddah, I can tell you that. So I think Tom could be under threat in the final few laps of this race because of how much earlier he pitted for the medium tyres. But you never know. He could get it to the end. I'm almost certain he can, but he's just got to learn to have good tyre management and not push too much. Only push when it is necessary. So we have got some interesting predicaments up front as well between Jax and Devon. Jax closing up to Devon into turn 4, but he stays behind. I think most of the drivers are being a bit patient because they're all getting the move. Past Bolan into turn 3. Tom almost doing exactly the same thing as we go down the hill. And Valentin again wants to to join the party. They all have DRS. Bolan is going to try and have an open invitation to get past Kazizel, but Kazizel is closing that invitation and he's saying, no, you're not having any of that. I want to keep my net P1. Kazizel is doing absolutely fantastic. He started in third and he's now your race leader. Your net race leader due to the people that have made pit stops. And I think he's going to try, obviously, and get past Baraka. Obviously, the lapped car. Kryptonite is also lapped. Oh, no, he's not lapped. Kryptonite has gone off a bit. Kryptonite's gone off a bit, so I want to be struggling. Oh, what's happened to... What the hell? Surely that's desync. Baraka has gone off, and then we've got Kryptonite that's out of this race. So, I wonder if that's going to be a possible retirement for Baraka as well, but we will see. Kryptonite makes it our third retirement of this race. No safety cars, though. I'm still surprised there's been no safety car. But in about 3 laps' time, we will see the drivers who were on the mediums go onto the soft tyres. Now, I will tell you about the deltas between each of the tyres. We've got 4 tenths per second between the softs and the mediums, so really it's not that much. And then we've got between the softs and the hards 1.3, but we don't really want to touch the hards. Now, Baraka is still in this race, but I wonder if he's going to go into the pit and call it a day. He's been on those tyres 15 laps now. He's been trying to stretch it up for so long. Is he going to call it quits? He's still going. He's still going in this race, which is really, really good. But we'll keep an eye on our top 4 now. Devon leads from Jack in P2. Andrea and CC Brain third and fourth. We've got CC Brain, who also makes a move towards turn 8 and 9 then. Keeping that left-hand side line. He knows they'd worked for him last time. CC Brain then up into third place in this race, but he's still yet to make a stop. But Andrea is going for the undercut out of these medium runners then. And he's going for the softs. That is early. That is early. Baraka's got a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That is interesting. I wonder where that was. He is not having the best of races, didn't he? He is not having the best of races. Valentine could fight back. Same with, I think, because there's all maybe potentially as well. But I think the gap will roughly still be similar because Valentine's only in 8th, but with still people yet to pit. This could change a bit. So, Devon, if I was Devon, I would pit now. Same with the likes of Jax. Azzy, I would pit too. Pretty much everyone on those mediums will pit because you're all on different teams, so you're not restricted to pit with the double stack. So, Azzy, I think, committed to the pit line, so he is going to come in. Yes, he is. CC Brain stayed out, so does Jack, and so does Devon. So Azzy's going to join the soft club for the rest of this race. So we'll follow Andrea, his teammate. I think, obviously, because Andrea had to pit a lap earlier to avoid a double stack. So we'll find out where his teammate comes out ahead. He's been draining, I think, quite a lot more ERS than expected. And he stayed ahead of his teammate of Azzy, but only about 1.5 seconds. Which I think was around about the same as last time. So Andrea and Azzy close together. Cohen is out of this race. He's retired in the pit lane, unfortunately. Which is a bit of a shame. And Louis very cheekily is giving Jax a bit of DRS and a bit of tyre as well, which you're not allowed to do in the qualifying session. But you are allowed to do in the race. Help your teammate quite a lot. As Baraka now goes onto the mediums early. Now, I wonder is a game glitch, because there's no way he would be on the mediums now. He would have got a puncher by now. So I wonder if it's just his game DC. It might be that the other drivers can see him in a different position than me. So if anyone's Jeffing and can see their screen or their stream or something like that, please tell me if he's actually in P14 or if he's somewhere else. Because otherwise it's quite weird. Anyway, Devon still yet to pit. Jax still yet to pit. CC Brains still yet to pit. Everyone else has made their mandatory stop. With 2 people on the softs. Probably 3 with Baraka, even though the game is not telling me that he's on the softs. But we'll see. Yeah, he's got to be on the softs. He's got to be on the softs. Surely. Surely he's on the softs. Who was set at 104.0 on mediums? That's crazy. That is crazy. So yes, Baraka's on the soft, ladies and gentlemen. Even though you can't see it, he is. So, we've got CC Brain, Jax and Devon all in. And with them being so far ahead of the other drivers who were on softs, that really helped them just a little bit more. So Devon up to 6th. Now, with the advantage of the delta that they have, will Devon, get into that top 3? Will he be the one to challenge the guys for the win? He's already 5.2 seconds behind Legend. This could be quite good. I was seeing yellow flags in set to 1, set to 2, set to 3. To be honest, this lobby is kind of weird tonight. So apologies if you see any issues. But it may be down to the lobby host connection. But we don't have a clue at the moment. We're on lap 23 at the moment. Valentine, Kazizzle and Bolan have still been fighting away. Bolan is now your race leader. Kazizzle, P2. Valentine, P3. Kazizzle is looking to get that lead back on Bolan. Oh, that was tight for Valentine once again. But Legend trying to fend off Tom. This could be very, very tight. But Legend, don't forget, won the race last week. He had a poor qualifying. But Legend is looking to redeem himself. And he is definitely redeeming himself thus far. Oh, look at this. Tom is fighting back. He says, you're not having that P4. But Legend's like, no, P4's mine. He's got him. Yes, he has got him. Legend has got him. So Legend is up into P4. Tom down to P5. But surely this battle could go on quite a lot until the end of this race. I think we're seeing Tom going for a late lunge then. There he goes, Tom to the left-hand side into turn 1. You don't necessarily see an overtake there, but Tom is proving us wrong. Tom is in P4 now, but can the likes of Valentine challenge the top 2? Now it's going to be tight. There's just so many battles happening at the moment that the guys on the softs could close in any minute. And we could see time penalties coming to fruition as well. So watch out. Watch out for these time penalties. These yellow flags are starting to get annoying. It is starting to get very annoying. So apologies if you find it annoying because it just happens every moment. But we will see. We will see. 1/10 behind Kazizzle now is Valentine. He's just so eager, isn't he? But the old him last season would have tried to be very aggressive and ambitious and he would have crashed. He's being a bit more patient this season, the Ferrari driver. Maybe the move to Ferrari was probably the right decision for him, which, to be honest, I think it is. He looks the closest at the moment, even though Kazizzle has DRS. Valentine's like, you know what, that doesn't matter, I'm going to get the move done anyway. He could go for a double overtake here, in towards turn 3. This could be 3 abreast for all 3 of these drivers. One of them has got to back out. Surely as they go down the hill Bolan must be under huge pressure as well. Valentin is up into P2. We've got a retirement of Azzy, which could bring out a safety car. But Bolan is holding on for dear life absolutely amazingly right now. But Cazizzo was a huge threat to Valentin, but unfortunately he was overtaken by Valentin. Valentin is up into P2, Cazizzo down to P3. So things as they were before the pit stops. Bolan leads. I don't know how Bolan's still leading, but he's been defending for dear life. He is doing absolutely incredible in that Mercedes machine. His debut in a Mercedes car this season. And he's absolutely loving it. But can any of the drivers behind him mount a challenge? We will find out. Once again, Valentin now goes for the move. This time he goes to the right-hand side. Valentin has the DRS, Bolan does not. Cazizzo, openinvitation.com, he's going to go for it, surely. Bolan does not have DRS, Cazizzo does. Tom is trying to defend off Legend as well. Oh, they make a bit of contact. A little bit of a squirmy from Legend. Luckily, Legend was ghosted on Tom, but that could have been disaster. That could have been curtains. But luckily, respect for the drivers, I have to say. Oh, thank goodness ghosting was on at that moment. But I have to say, the top 5 is definitely giving us entertainment. But because of this entertainment that we are getting, look at who's joining the party. Jax has overtaken Devon. So now Jax is your leading soft runner. He is also in this train. But don't forget, Devon doesn't have that 3-second penalty. Jax does have that 3-second time penalty. So Jax really needs to get a move on to get past these guys, because every single driver will have DRS. Here comes Jax. He's got to do so. He's got that tyre advantage. Valentin and Bolan. Valentin is your race leader now. Bolan in second place. So the leaders change hand once again. But Tom's out. Tom's out. Oh my word. I knew it would have went wrong somehow, but that was in the middle of the circuit. I think he went for an ambitious move there. Now, if I just pause a second, there we go. Hopefully it should fix itself by doing that. No, it doesn't. But we have got a safety car on our hands. Oh my word, that has changed things quite a bit here at PSGL. Valentin getting a penalty. That's also changing things. Now, what would I do? Generally, in some tracks, depending on when the safety car comes out, you want track position. You would want track position. But if you have a gap behind you that's quite big, go on softs. Valentin is the only driver to not pit. The only driver to not pit. Everybody else is going to pit. Surely Baraka's going to pit as well. He is. Baraka is going in. Even if you're on softs, you would be brave to stay out. If you have fresh tyres, use them. Surely some people will have fresh tyres that they haven't used already from qualifying. So Louis going to come in as well. So there he comes. So everybody then, apart from Valentin's going to get swamped. Valentin is going to get absolutely swamped. But we have seen Daniel Ricciardo hold up Lewis Hamilton in Monaco. We saw Lewis Hamilton hold up Max Verstappen on worn tyres and on harder tyres in Monaco. But it is a different circuit. This is a completely different circuit altogether. This is going to be one huge DRS train. I'm looking forward to this. Don't tune out. Don't you dare go to PSF1 yet. We are in for a crazy final 6 laps of this race. This race, I love Austria. I love commentating on Austria and PSGL. It's brilliant. There's some races where it can get a bit quiet, but it always has a very spicy end. In F2 on PC on Thursday, the ending was crazy. PCF1, remember, Jarno Otmir managed a sensational move to get the win of the race. And to be honest, one of the best moves out of the whole season, out of all the tiers and platforms, I have to say, not gonna lie. So, we could see something similar here today. Literally, anyone who's not got a penalty is in for a shot for winning. And if there's a retirement, then we could see everybody getting points. This race is probably the most open we've seen throughout the entire season. Now, I'm going to ask for your predictions here. And I've just quickly paused the stream my end so I can check the chat. But so Devon obviously was the leading soft runner who stayed outside the CC Brain, but I would have to say Jack's pitted on fresh tyres, which could be a saving grace, but he's got a penalty and I don't know. So get your predictions in. Get your predictions in. Stinson, hello Stinson in the chat. He has said Baraka and Louis could be rewarded for not retiring when at the back. Will be great to see. Yeah. By just staying in the race for Baraka and Louis, this could work wonders. But Baraka has got a 10-second penalty. It might get removed. It might get removed. I don't know. But Louis has a 3 second, Jax has a 3 second, so does Valentine. Now, M-May is predicting CC Brain would win. I'm trying to think, when was the last time CC Brain has won a race? Probably, I think it was season... I'm looking at the archives now. Hold on a second. I need to actually try and find the archives. There it is. PSF2. Because I remember, I think it was season 26 where he did a similar strategy and he won the race. It was Japan. He won the race on the alternate strategy. It's something similar here. Devon was on the alternate strategy. I literally do not know who's going to be winning this race. I literally do not know. And he's predicting Devon's going to win. Now let me get the tyres up. Everyone's on soft apart from Valentine. Devon has got to have a good restart because Valentine will be on the much worn tyres. He'll be at punch territory. Valentine's got to hold on for dear life. Valentine has got the most to lose. If I was Valentine, probably if I was on mediums and everyone else was on softs, I would have dropped to the back by turn 3. Ooh. Someone's lost their front wing. A bit of their front wing. A bit of the end plate. There was a bit of a debris that was falling. I wasn't sure who it was. Berlin's in the pits. Berlin is in the pits, so Berlin's had a bit of an issue. Berlin's had a bit of an issue then. Whoa, this could change things quite massively. So a race which could have gone well for Berlin and Mercedes has turned into absolute disaster. Berlin has been so unlucky. It was so heartbreaking for him. He was doing brilliant. I don't want to commentators curse him. As Berlin has retired. If he just kept going, he potentially would have got points, but I literally did not see what happened, but hopefully we'll be able to see a POV from his end to see what might have caused him to retire in the pit lane. But Valentine is holding on for dear life, but don't forget Valentine has that 3-second penalty. Devon, who has yet to win a race this season, won the championship last season in F3, could be on course to be taking his first win in at the 2nd tier. And this could be for great things for the next game. Devon then. He is going towards turn number 9. Lap 33 will be when DRS is activated. So he potentially won't be going for a move yet, but Devon might go for a brave movement towards turn 1. He's thinking about it. He's thinking. Now he thinks better of it right now. CC Brain as well. I think CC Brain has been playing it the smart out of everybody, but he knows that Kazizzle is challenging him. I think CC Brain might have got a bit of damage, you know, because Kazizzle is trying to catch up, or maybe Kazizzle is quite quicker anyway. But Devon almost got Valentine without DRS. He almost got the move done, but without DRS, Devon is going to try and capitalise on being on the fresher tyres. Here he comes. Oh, that was so close. Valentine just about holds on. To be fair, if Valentine wins this race on track, on those medium tyres, that will be insane. But I don't think Devon is pushing that much because he knows that Valentine has got no penalties. No, who's got a penalty. But he knows the Cazzizzle behind is on fresher tyres and he's got no penalties as well. So Devon, he's got to worry about Cazzizzle. He's got to worry about CC Brain. He's got to worry about Legend. He's got to worry about all those people that have got no penalties. DRS activated. Game on. 4 more laps to go of this Austrian Grand Prix and my voice is about to die. So here we go then. Devon's first chance of getting Valentine because this will got him as well. So it's a double-edged sword for Valentine. Everyone is getting past Valentine all of a sudden. And Devon is your race leader because it'll win second. And it's now going to be a three-way fight on track for the race win with those soft tyres. CC Brain is getting swamped by Legend. CC Brain on 10 lap hold. Solve says someone's gone off. That is... Oh no, that's... Excuse me. That is Jackson. Andrea has had a bit of an off. Jax was another driver that was doing well as well. Both of our newest full-time drivers not having the best of race today. But we got almost 2 more laps to go. Things can change. Devon has now got to be the driver that holds on for dear life because he's got the same tyre wear situation, I think, as Valentine. Maybe he should appear like everybody else, but if he holds on and if he gets no penalties, this could be the greatest win of his life. So he's just got to focus, keep his head down and defend. He's not wanting to let Cazzizzle pass. Meanwhile, CC Brain has got past Valentine. Well, he almost got past Valentine, but Valentine had a massive defensive there as well. Louis has got past. Where's Louis come from? Louis just by staying out and not giving up. He went off a couple of times. He's pitted a few times. He's had damage and he's into P4 on track. I kind of wish Louis didn't get any penalties now because this is insane for Louis. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting this to happen. But by just not giving up, Louis could be on... Louis is getting points anyway. Louis is getting points, but how many points? He's just going to hope now that people around him get penalties because he could be on for his best result. To be fair, it's not about where you start, it's where you finish, and you don't get points in qualifying, you get points in the race. You don't get points in the middle of the race, you get points at the end of the race when the checkered flag falls. So, Louis, this could be amazing. But he's got to get past Valentine first. Valentine's on mediums. Louis on softs. Louis on the fresher tyres. Oh my god, this could be huge. This could be absolutely huge. You can't make a mistake here. Here comes Louis. Onto the right-hand side he goes. And I think Louis is going to get P3. He does. He's now going to try and increase that gap to Valentine now, which is easier said than done. Because if he does, he could be on for a good result. Let's check penalties. 3 seconds. Okay. So, I think he would only lose out to CC Brain and Legend, I think. So, I think you'll get P5, if my maths is correct, which is still pretty decent. So, he's got to potentially try and get past some more cars on track, so he would lose less positions, if that makes sense. So, he's driving quite a lot of VRS as well. I did say earlier on in the stream that there's not much places where you can recharge your battery. So, he's in a lot of trouble in terms of VRS, but we're on the final lap of this race. That's how quickly it's gone. Cazzizzle, he's had some bad luck this season, and he's going to try and turn the bad luck into good luck. Cazzizzle takes lead of the race, but at what cost? Devon has now got the DRS. No, but Cazzizzle does not. Baraka is back in this race. Baraka's up to P4, but don't forget Baraka's got the time penalty. Baraka's got past Valentine. Now CC Brain has got past Valentine. This is all going absolutely crazy here at the Austrian Grand Prix. But I wonder, with Devon not pitting, was that why he hasn't won this race? If he pitted like everybody else, I'm almost certain he would have won this race. But a question for another time. We'll probably speak to him in the podium interviews. Legend has had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 7, but we'll be watching Cazzizzle. He had a DNF last week. This is redemption week for the Aston Martin driver. Cazzizzle comes across the line and he wins in Austria. Devon comes across the line in second. Ricky in third. Louis Manages to hold on to his 4th place after Legend spin. By far his best result of the season. If he just pushed us a little bit further, he would have got P3 and he would have been on the podium. CC Brain 5th, Valentine 6th. He closed the gap to Baraka in the championship. Andrea 7th, Jax 8th, Baraka 9th. And Legend crossed the line in 10th. I did say that was a crazy end to the race. Oh my god, my voice is dead. My voice is dead. But CC Brain gets driver of the day, but oh my god, there's just so many driver of the days to choose from. It's just amazing. So, here comes Kazizzle. I'm just looking at Kazizzle results. So Kazizzle got 5th place in Portugal. No points in Silverstone. And the other 3 races this season, he is DNF'd. What a way to start your championship campaign. By having bad luck this season, could this be the start of Kazizzle's great form in this championship? I'm lost for words here. I am lost for words. I was not expecting this order. Only Kazizzle, who qualified in the top 3, managed to stay in the top 3, but he did 2 places better and get P1. Devon in P2, Ricky in P3, Louis in P4, CT Brain in P5, Valentine in P6, Andrea in P7, Jax in P8, Baraka still managed to get some points in P9 just by staying in the race, Legend in P10, and then your retirement, we've got quite a few to go through. Bolan, Tom, Azzy, Catwin, Kryptonite, Pat Schneider, and Dino. So there we go then. I told you Austria brings out some classics over at PSGL. Oh, that was just crazy. That was just crazy. Hopefully, we'll be able to speak to the drivers for their podium interviews. And I would love to hear from Kazizzle. I would love to hear from Kazizzle. Because I think Kazizzle must have been absolutely shaking. He knew he was on the fresher tyres as well. So we will try and speak to them as much as possible. But I felt gutted for Bolan. Absolutely gutted for Bolan. It was his race. It was his race to win, pretty much. He was having a very good battle with Valentine. I think without that safety car, he would have won. But I think he was just very, very unlucky. And I think I kind of commentators cursed him quite a lot. So I apologise, Bolan, but surely when we head to Jeddah next week, surely this could be the chance for him to redeem himself. We saw Kazizzle redeem himself tonight with a win. Maybe Bolan can live up to Kazizzle's expectation potentially there as well. So I will see if anyone's around for interviews. And I believe there was quite a few people that were struggling with Baraka's connection as well. So it wasn't just me, thank goodness. So the position that you did see with Baraka was the same as what the other drivers were seeing as well. So let's see then. Nobody is waiting at the moment. So Jeddah next week. Nobody has raced in Jeddah before at PSGL. But there is quite a few leagues that have raced in Jeddah already. I don't think many PS leagues are racing Jeddah, so it will be the first time for most of them. So ideally the practice for them starts now. It pretty much starts now. And you will be able to tell next week which drivers have practiced and which drivers have not. Thank goodness I'm the one in the commentary box and not the one racing, because I hate racing it, but I'm very much looking forward to commentating Jeddah next week. It's going to be an absolute classic. Make sure you stay tuned, same time, 7 PM UK time. And you tell I'm trying to blabble on whilst I'm waiting for someone to go in the interview room. And we've got someone in the interview room, hey! So let me get my interview screen up whilst I try and get the man of the moment into the commentary box. So, Kazizzle, can you hear us? Oh, I need to undeafen myself. That would help. Kazizzle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Kazizzle, what a race it must have been. You got your first win this season. You had 3 DNFs in a row. Were you expecting that to happen tonight?
No, but I think it started a lot better. Recently, my quali's been really bad, and starting P3 already puts me in a great position. And I just got really lucky with safety cars and people making mistakes. So yeah.
Yeah, because you saw that Devon was on older tyres as well. Did you knew that it was the right decision to go for softs towards the end of the race?
Yeah, 100%. The softs have like a 7, 8, 10th advantage at the end of the race, so I knew if I stay up, I probably won't be able to defend, and I felt I had the natural pace to get past people if needed.
It was absolutely fantastic, and also in the middle of the race as well, you were battling with your teammate as well. You battled with Valentine and all that kind of stuff as well. Shame what happened to your teammate, but we'll talk about you and your teammates battling as well, because you were just not eager to go for a move yet as well. Was it just about being patient for the race and just waiting for potentially the luck to come?
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to take risks around a circuit like Austria because everyone's so quick here that if you make a mistake, it's so hard to get back. So I was saving ERS, saving tyres, and yeah, it was all about being patient to the very end.
Yeah, and that helped you. Your first W there as well. Surely that's going to help people with motivation as well for the rest of the season. Next week, a track that not everyone's looking forward to. We head to Jeddah next week. Have you done a race around this track before? Have you practiced? And what are you going to do to try and keep up your good form this season?
Yeah, I've done a race at Jeddah, and overall it's a different track. It's not like any other track I've ever raced at. It can be really challenging, and I'm just going to go into it and, just put in 100% practice like I did for Austria. And, if I just do the right pit strategy, start at the front, hopefully everything goes well.
Yeah, exactly. And now, with you getting that race win under your belt, do you think that the title is still within reach?
You never know. I haven't got a single goal as in just go for the championship. This is something which I just want to have fun with and just enjoy. And yeah, that's my goal.
Exactly. Congratulations on the win today. We will let you go and celebrate Kazizel, our race winner for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Thank you, guys.
Right then, so that is it then for the Austrian Grand Prix. I don't think we have anyone else in. I'm trying to see if we have the likes of Devon in the interview room. And I think it was Ricky that finished third. So, which I find it still hard to believe, to be honest. But it just goes to show that if you just keep your head cool and if you just keep on racing, and you may have a horrible race, but when you have safety cars thrown at you or any other moment, you could be going well. Ricky was near the back as well and had a bit of an incident. So, to be fair, he deserved that P3. But a few drivers of the days, let us know your driver of the days in chat. But I have to give it to obviously Kazizel, Louis as well, Ricky, Devon as well for playing that strategy to perfection. There's just so many people and they're going to be going with huge confidence going into next week, which will be at Jeddah, like I said. So one of the longest laps on the calendar as well. It is going to be a night race, I believe, which is going to be very, very exciting. Qualifying is going to be interesting as well because the lap is just so fast, very, very thrilling as well. You could just throw at every corner as well, which is what a lot of drivers like, but what a lot of drivers hate as well. It's kind of like a Marmite track. You either love it or you hate it. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes next week. And we still got some more Austrian Grand Prix action if you think this race was even more crazy enough. We've just had F3, F4 and F7 as well that were streaming along with us. So if you want to check those streams out after this, you can. But there's also the big tier, F1, PSF1 live right now. They've just finished their qualifying session and they're about to head on to their race. And I don't have a clue what the race is going to be in terms of weather. So I'm going to be surprised they're just about to start the race. And of course, we've got F6 and F5 and F8 on at the moment too, if you want to check those out. So, quick reminder then of our socials. We're almost on 14k subscribers. So if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button, turn that red button into a grey button, hit that notification bell as well so you know when to check out all of our streams. You can also follow PSGL on Twitter, that is at PremierSimGL. And you can follow me on Twitter as well if you want to. You don't have to, but you can follow me at JessGames95. The next race, the first Jeddah race this week will be for the PC F1 tier, commentated by Ginger Andy and Dan Bill, the full qualifying session. That's going to be interesting to say the least. That'll be on at 7 p.m. UK time. Then we've got PC tiers of F2, F3, F4 on Thursday. On Sunday, we got PS F10 being streamed. Then, of course, we've got ourselves at 7 p.m. UK time next week. So, we'll let you go and enjoy F1 because I don't want to keep you waiting too long. Have a good evening. It was absolutely fantastic. We will see you very, very soon. Bye bye.